A journey of hope and perseverance. The audacity of hope. A narrative introduction. The audacity of an American story. On a cold November night in 2008 in Chicago's Grant Park, a crowd of approximately 240,000 people watched as history was made before their eyes. It was a moment of incredible intensity and emotion when an African-American man addressed the world after being elected president. But this victory was not a sudden miracle. It was the logical conclusion of an extraordinary journey, one that began thousands of miles away and under entirely different circumstances. This is the story of a person whose background was often at odds with the traditional path of an American politician. The question arises, how did an individual raised outside the conventional American way of life reach such a pinnacle? The answer is hidden in every turn of his story, which revolves around hope and perseverance.
The foundation of his being. Barack Hussein Obama II was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His parents represented a multicultural union. His father, Barack H. Obama Sr., was a Kenyan economist, and his mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, was a young woman from Kansas. This relationship, though brief, laid the foundation for Obama's identity. They divorced when he was just 2 years old, and he was raised by his mother, Ann, and his maternal grandparents, Stanley and Madeline Dunham, whom he affectionately called Toot. His grandmother was a particularly important figure in his life. As Obama himself stated, "She's the one who taught me about hard work. She's the one who put off buying a new car or a new dress for herself so that I could have a better life." The sacrifices and values he received in his childhood became an integral part of his character. This early instability in his life presents a paradoxical model of an uprooted American story. His childhood was very different from a traditional American upbringing. It was a fluid, international life that constantly forced him to find and shake his own identity. An early life experience in which he saw himself as an Indonesian child and a Hawaiian child and a black child and a white child cultivated in him the ability to bridge cultural and racial divides. His personal journey became a powerful reflection of the American ideal, e pluribus unum, or out of many, one. This is not merely a biographical detail, but the psychological source of his later political philosophy, a philosophy that would unite millions. His personal journey is an emotional example of how a person can integrate multiple and sometimes contradictory identities into a single powerful purpose. The search for self-discovery, early life, and a sense of purpose. Traveling between two worlds. In his youth, Barack spent several years in two different parts of the world. When he was 6, he moved with his mother and stepfather, Lolo Sotoro, to Jakarta, Indonesia. There, he attended local Indonesian schools and took American correspondence courses under his mother's supervision. This was a profound cultural experience for Obama, who studied at a local public school and a Catholic school. At the age of 10, his mother made the heartbreaking decision to send him back to Honolulu to live with his grandparents, ensuring he received a better education. It was a heartbreaking moment that demonstrated his mother's great sacrifice. During this time, Obama recalled growing up as an Indonesian child and a Hawaiian child, and a black child and a white child, reflecting his unique and diverse background.
The college years, a crisis of purpose. During his higher education, Obama embarked on a significant intellectual journey. After attending Occidental College, he transferred to Columbia University, where he earned a degree in political science in 1983. He led a rather ascetic life, immersing himself in the works of great writers like William Shakespeare, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Toni Morrison. This period of deep introspection was a turning point. After graduating, he took an unsatisfying job as a corporate analyst in New York City. This job, however, led to a personal and intellectual crisis. He realized that a life measured by wealth or a fancy degree was not enough. He came to the powerful realization that,
The measure of my life would be public service. His journey from corporate analysis to public service was a crucial step born from his intellectual struggle and a search for purpose. If this story of finding a life's purpose and a path forward inspires you, please subscribe to our channel now so you don't miss our next story of hope and resilience.
Laying the groundwork, the Chicago years. This chapter represents the core of Barack Obama's story, narrating a journey of struggle and triumph. It details how his early experiences as a community organizer became the foundation for his entire career. The best education he ever had. In 1985, at the age of 24, Obama moved to the south side of Chicago to work as a community organizer for the Developing Communities Project, DCP. He later called this experience the best education I ever had. For 3 years, he worked with residents in impoverished areas of Roseland to establish job training programs, college prep tutoring, and tenants' rights organizations. The work was often thankless, and as he once admitted, sometimes I called a meeting and nobody showed up. Yet through these failures, he learned the invaluable skills of listening, building consensus, and finding common ground between different groups. From Harvard to a lifelong partnership. His journey led him to Harvard Law School, where he became the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. This was a testament to his ability to bring together ideologically divided factions, a skill he had honed in Chicago. During a summer internship at a Chicago law firm, he met Michelle Robinson, who was assigned as his advisor. Their romance blossomed, and they were married on October 3, 1992. Michelle later recalled that in his wedding vows, Barack didn't pledge riches, only a life that would be interesting. On that promise, he delivered. This experience in Chicago formed the bedrock of his political philosophy. The famous campaign slogan, "Yes, we can," and the grassroots digital movement that propelled him to the presidency were not new inventions. They were large-scale applications of the community organizing principles he learned in Chicago. The fact that he learned to trust people and develop other people's leadership explains why his campaigns were so successful at empowering volunteers. This highlights a powerful lesson. Great leaders don't just spring into existence. They are forged through the hard, often invisible work of building a foundation from the ground up. If you are inspired by this story of perseverance and finding purpose, please subscribe to our channel and join our community. Your support helps us continue to share these powerful and life-changing stories. A political ascent, the audacity of hope. This chapter of his life illustrates how a state senator became a national icon and a presidential candidate. The speech that changed everything. In 2004, Obama was just a state senator when he delivered the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. This speech was a masterpiece of rhetoric, using personal narrative, repetition, metaphors, and opposites. Its central message was a rejection of a divided America. There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's the United States of America, and an invitation to embrace the audacity of hope. The speech was so powerful that it launched him onto the national stage almost overnight. His campaign of hope and change. His 2008 presidential campaign was a direct extension of his community organizing philosophy. He built a massive grassroots organization that leveraged social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter to connect with voters. This strategy created a face-to-face quality with his supporters, making them feel like an integral part of a larger community. The campaign faced its biggest challenge with the controversy surrounding his former pastor, Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Instead of simply condemning the pastor and moving on, Obama gave a historic speech titled "A More Perfect Union." In this speech, he used his own mixed-race background to address the complex history of race in America. He transformed a potential political liability into a powerful opportunity for national dialogue, arguing that the struggle to form a more perfect union was not just his, but the entire country's. This was the moment his personal story became a national metaphor for unity, connecting with voters on a deep emotional level.
The Presidency and Legacy, From Promise to Pragmatism. This chapter provides a comprehensive and human-centric picture of his 2 terms in office, navigating an era of crisis. Upon taking office in January 2009, Obama inherited a nation facing a trifecta of crises: the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the ongoing threat of terrorism. His approach to leadership was not of flashy idealism, but of disciplined pragmatism. He established a rigorous decision-making process, listening to experts, following the facts, and taking time for reflection. He also spoke of his personal struggles, noting that time spent with his wife and daughters was a crucial daily reminder that he was fundamentally a person. This was the evolution from an idealistic campaigner to a measured president, one who understood that governing in a storm required a steady hand.
Key achievements and lasting impact. Despite the challenges, his 2 terms saw several landmark achievements. He passed the Affordable Care Act, providing health coverage to millions. He rescued the American auto industry and passed the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act to prevent another financial crisis. In foreign policy, he directed the mission that killed Osama bin Laden and negotiated the Paris Climate Agreement. His presidency was marked by stability and a focus on incremental, lasting change. His legacy is not only defined by the laws he passed, but also by the crises that did not happen. He successfully steered the nation away from a second Great Depression and scaled back military commitments instead of launching new wars. Major presidential accomplishments. Area of achievement, key accomplishments, source. Economic recovery. Took measures to stabilize the U.S. economy after the 2008 crisis, including the plan to save the auto industry and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. Financial reforms. Enacted the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act to safeguard consumers and prevent future financial crises. Healthcare. Secured the passage of the Affordable Care Act, ACA, which aimed to provide healthcare to millions of uninsured Americans.
National security. Directed the military operation that killed Osama bin Laden, withdrew U.S. troops from Iraq, and negotiated the nuclear deal with Iran. Social and environmental policy. Repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, supported same-sex marriage, and secured the Paris Climate Agreement. A new chapter, the ongoing work of hope. Following his presidency, Obama has dedicated his life to supporting the next generation of leaders. His new work is centered on the Obama Foundation, a global initiative to inspire, empower, and connect people to change their world. The Foundation's mission is to empower leaders, forge pathways to opportunities, and build a center for change in Chicago, a full-circle return to his early years of organizing. The Foundation's values, such as empathy, community, and resilience, are the very principles he learned while working in Roseland. It is proof that the presidency was not the end of his story, but a means to a greater purpose. The Obama Foundation, a blueprint for a better world. The Obama Foundation, values and programs.
Hope to action values. Courage. The determination to act on your values despite fear and uncertainty. Empathy. The pursuit of understanding the world through the eyes of others and valuing our shared humanity. Integrity. Consistently putting values and principles into action. Accountability. Acknowledging our responsibilities to others and honoring our commitments. Community. Connecting with others to create something larger than ourselves. Inclusivity. Valuing differences as we build a world where everyone can thrive. Pragmatism. Finding ways to make progress toward the world we want to see. Resilience. Encouraging ourselves and others to navigate challenges and change. Imagination. asking questions and bringing new ideas forward to expand our understanding and dream up new possibilities. Hope, nurturing the possibility of a better future and inspiring others to come together to realize it. Key programs and initiatives. My Brother's Keeper Alliance focuses on a national call to action to create safe and supportive communities for boys and young men of color. Girls Opportunity Alliance aims to empower adolescent girls globally through education to help them reach their full potential. Voyager Scholarship, a scholarship for undergraduate students in the United States who are committed to pursuing careers in public service. The Obama Presidential Center, a global center for change in Chicago that inspires visitors to turn hope into action.
A final call to action. Obama returned to the work that first gave his life meaning, proving that the most important thing is to pass the baton to the next generation. His journey is a testament to hope, a reminder that any person, regardless of their background, can bring change to the world through the path they choose. His story teaches us that change doesn't come from one person's efforts, but from the collective efforts of millions. If you have been inspired by this story and believe in making a difference, then now is the time. Join this journey and become part of our community committed to hope and action. Please subscribe to this channel so you can be a part of more inspiring stories like this and become a source of change yourself.